Welcome to Technocracy News with your host, Patrick Wood. I'm your co-host, Logan House. We got a few stories to cover today before we get to the big story that we'll be covering throughout the next couple weeks. And the first one being today is, can AI therapists solve your mental health problems? Then we will touch on the stablecoin trap, the backdoor to financial control. And then we will hit on the big story that we will be covering over the next few weeks. It's a two-part series, understanding the dark MAGA Gov-Corp Technate. And it's long, Patrick. There's a lot of information in there.
Is it really long?
Yeah.
We're gonna be unpacking this for days and days to come. But this is going to be the big story of this decade, if not the whole century, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's going to affect our future, and we'll get to it in time. But you know what? I need a therapist. I have mental problems sometimes, right? And what am I going to do? I don't want to spend $500 an hour to talk to some idiot who wants to, tell me, get prescribed drugs for me, whatever. Can I find an AI therapist to solve my mental health problems, do you think?
I don't know. I think that might make your mental health problems worse, talking to a computer.
But the AI can produce a person on the screen for me that looks just like you or anybody else, beautiful woman or whatever, a therapist with long, blonde hair, beautiful, and she says she loves me, and she thinks I should be loved, and I can master all my problems if I just listen to her. Well, but that's not a human.
Yeah, it might solve it
It's
for a little
machine.
while until you start realizing that you're never gonna meet this girl or never gonna have her in your. She's non-existent.
I know. At this point, however, the mental health industry is reeling right now, where people are using ChatGPT and other AI programs to get help for their mental problems. Maybe they're depressed, maybe they're suicidal. It doesn't matter. You can have your AI therapist in your pocket at all times. Just you have a question, whatever. What should I do about this situation? You get an answer immediately, and life goes on, right?
Yeah.
But this is so disturbing that people are gravitating to AI to solve their problems, all of their problems at this point, and that's partly a failure of humanity to provide that support in the first place, for sure. But nevertheless, people think this is a really good idea to trust AI with their mental health.
Well, I think a lot of the, causes of people having mental health problems, especially in the younger generation, is because of technology and phones and computers and all that. I wasn't around, but I don't think mental health was a huge topic back in the day.
Well, you're probably right. When people have issues, and people do have issues once in a while, they need to talk stuff out. Maybe it's better to talk to your pastor rather than shrink, but nevertheless, people have issues. And the first step of solving your issues is verbalizing what's going on in your life, right? You have to talk to somebody first. Mm-hmm. You may not even get anything back, but still you have to talk about it, even if it's just talk in the mirror to yourself. You have to express what's going on in your head. Well, certainly the humans have failed to be good listeners and good advisors. But now AI is hitting the ball out of the park, where it can maybe supply answers for 80% of your problems, but the last 20% might kill you.
Yeah. Well, and we saw, we've covered the story. I think it was like a 11 or 12-year-old boy who started a relationship with this avatar online, and he ended up killing himself. It talked him into killing himself.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, this is very disturbing.
So when they're going on here and dumping their their deepest, darkest thoughts and secrets into this thing, that they're going to form some type of connection to it, I would think.
That's exactly what's happening. That's the bonding, the bonding that takes place between the person, the human, and the AI. This needs to be accomplished by trickery, deception, where you all of a sudden you think, well, I'm really talking to a bot, but no, it sounds human to me. I'm just going to accept it as human because it says I can be loved or whatever,
And then you're also giving these companies your data, not just your data, but your biggest weak points and your biggest, vulnerabilities that they can exploit.
That too. Of course, the whole thing is an exploitation from the get-go. But nevertheless, this is taking the world by storm right now.
Yeah, I know.
People
Grok
are seeking advice.
Grok
well,
has a
before
feature.
Exactly. Before when people had really difficult problems, like they're schizophrenic or they have bipolar issues, whatever. When the problems get so big that you'll seek out the help of a professional in some field, a psychiatrist or whatever, a psychologist, when you get to that point, you might get help, you might not. But my point is the threshold of seeking help has been lowered now, where your therapist is in your pocket at all times. Where you might not even think you have a problem until you have one, and oh my gosh, it's a crisis. I was fine yesterday, but today I'm not, and so you seek help. You didn't really need it in the first place, but you're going to get it whether you not need it or not. At that point,
it's right at your fingertips.
That's right. This is the other aspect of this. Well, in any case, you know what? The human race is going to go off a cliff anyway. In the end, maybe this is just going to be the trigger that helps people. I don't know, whatever helps them get off the cliff, make the jump. Not for suicide necessarily, but the separation from reality.
Yeah.
This is an expression of that, just crazy stuff.
Yeah,
Crazy
and I know
stuff.
we gotta keep it moving, but another thing that bothers me real quick on this is wait till it starts prescribing medication to you for your mental health problems.
That's right.
Or recommending medication to you for your mental health problems.
Exactly so. And this is going to be huge going forward in the medical field. You'll see more professional AI robots, I'm sure, that will be able to prescribe medicine to you. Mm-hmm. We've already seen this, for instance, in China, where they have now created an AI hospital. There's no people, just AI. Lots of AI. Everybody can have their own AI assistant in this hospital. But there's no doctors there, but they can prescribe medicine based on your diagnosis. And why, that's a physical thing. Maybe you have a kidney infection or something. Well, I give this to you, pick it up at the pharmacy, and here's your script, signed by the AI program, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay. So that means that they can prescribe psychotropic drugs as well. Yeah. This is coming. Coming. It is.
Yeah, it's not good. Well, our next story is the stablecoin trap, the backdoor to financial control. What is this all about, Patrick?
This is a wonderful article. The guy really hit it out of the park, I think. But the concept is what Trump at this point is trying to achieve with all of his AI and his crypto czar is sidestepping a little bit what the Fed was pursuing with its central bank digital currency. This is being privatized now to pivot over to stable coins versus central bank digital currency. It's a very closely related concept, obviously, but this is what's being pushed all of a sudden in the Trump administration. The first administration was not focusing at all on crypto. In fact, it was almost hostile to cryptocurrencies. Now everything is flip-flopped, and now at in Washington D.C., it's all about crypto now. So they're having conferences, and David Sachs was appointed to be the crypto czar of the Trump administration. He wasn't appointed or vetted by the Senate. That's not a position that needs to be confirmed. So basically, these people are just running amok with the future of our monetary system. And here's the key about technocrats for sure. You can see where a technocrat is when he's appointed and he's not accountable to anybody, and he's given the reins of policy, but he'll never be accountable for it. Well, this is exactly what a czar is in our government now. This is not a democratically approved person at all, but they're going to take this policy of AI and crypto to an extreme to change our monetary system in our country. Do we really want that, where the politicians are not involved, where our Senate's not involved? They're the ones that's supposed to be in charge of coinage in the first place, right? Mm-hmm. Historically they have been, but now it's being taken away from the government altogether and delivered into the hands of these technocrats to make another monetary system.
Yeah. Well, we are all out of time for this segment. We'll be back here in 2 minutes and come back with the next story.
We live in uncertain times. In fact, we live at a time when our own governments all over the world are warning us that there could be big problems with our power grid. World War III seems to be right on the horizon. Let me ask you this. Do you have a satellite phone? Should communications go down with cell towers? Do you have a satellite phone to get a hold of that college student or your spouse who travels, whatever it might be, to get a hold of your senior adult parents? We have satellite phones at worldviewtalk.com, and you get the satellite phone for free when you sign up for their very reasonable payment programs for the service. Sign up for the service with a reasonable contract, get the satellite phone for free. Worldviewtalk.com. You'll also find they have, well, what I now have, which is a solar generator. Yeah, I have a gas generator, an LP propane generator, but what if that goes down? I want to back up to my backup. So I now have a solar generator as well. You'll find them at worldviewtalk.com. Check it out today, worldviewtalk.com. We're not changing courses now. We are who we are. We're committed to the truth that we are committed to. Worldview Tube is a broadcast network that I started in 2006, but it's based on my 35 years as an author and speaker and commentator. Worldview Tube is here to defend the truth of a Christian worldview. And we believe we can apply it to all areas of life, like law, science, economics, history, family, social issues, education, religion, major issues.
At worldviewtube.com, we provide news from around the globe that isn't typically covered by mainstream media. Visit worldviewtube.com to watch our experts and analysts discuss all your favorite topics on our 24/7 live stream. Explore our extensive collection of unfiltered and uncensored content from 35 years of production. Go to worldviewtube.com today. Also find us on all of these major platforms and download our Worldview Tube mobile app.
Welcome back to Technocracy News. Well, moving along, we have Understanding the Dark MAGA Gov-Corp Technate. And this is by Ian Davis at the Unlimited Hangout. And this is, I don't even know if I'd call it an article, Patrick.
That's what I said. That's exactly what I said. I have known Ian for some time because he's picked up a lot of information on technocracy from me over the years. And he's from Great Britain, however. So I had no chance to meet him in person at this point. But he's been writing forcefully about what's going on in our country. Isn't it interesting that sometimes a foreigner can get a better bead of what's going on here in our country than we get, that we can figure out, right?
Yeah.
That's because we're too close sometimes to see what's going on. And this is the case here. He's really nailed this story very well, relating the whole thing to historic technocracy, number one, and then the crazy additional kind of ideologies that have been layered on top of that. And what's going on right now in our country, I'll tell you what, we already knew there's a coup d'etat of technocracy even starting in 2020. But now we see this in full bloom, the takeover of our government and the reorganization of our government, and the intended outcome of these people is to collapse our government.
Mm-hmm.
This is so antithetic to the populist movement in the first place. They had no idea where this was headed. But all of a sudden, it's taken a dark turn, literally.
Yeah.
A dark, not the dark enlightenment, or dark MAGA, but it's taken a dark turn for America in general. We need to unpack this, and I want to start out by looking at my comments at the top of this article.
All right.
And let me tell all of our listeners, you're not gonna hear the end of this with us. We need to keep on this until either we kill it or it kills us. So this is the story of the century at this point. What's going on with this, the Elon Musk and this dark MAGA movement. So let's just take off on the first part of this. Elon Musk, he declared at that rally in 2024 that was in the same place that Trump got his shot. He said that he's dark MAGA. That's what he said. All of a sudden, nobody knew what that meant. But he says, I'm not just regular MAGA, but I'm dark MAGA. And everybody cheered. They didn't know what he was talking about, but they cheered him. So, okay, so he came out with this hat on that said dark MAGA on it. Well, it didn't say dark, but it's dark hat. And we're going to show you a picture of this just a minute here, if you have it. And he's been wearing this hat now ever since. You'll see him. In fact, I haven't seen him wearing a red hat now. He always has his dark MAGA hat on. And this is the tell. What is going on that everybody else in the whole world is wearing a red hat, but not Elon. He has a black hat on now that says "Make America Great Again," right? So what's going on here? Has something been slipped by that we didn't have any clue what's going on here? Well, there's a declaration that signifies that this is more than just political allegiance. Basically, it's a fusion of technocratic governance and this so-called dark enlightenment theory. That's a reactionary philosophy advocating corporate-led authoritarianism. Musk and Trump are advancing a Technate. That's a continental scale technocratic system through initiatives like the Department of Government Efficiency, that's DOGE, which centralizes power in unelected technocrats while dismantling democratic institutions. That's not what we bargained for when we, elected Trump. Really? We want to just dismantle and reorganize our government? Well, this is exactly what Elon Musk said he wanted to do. He's going to reorganize our government. Everybody cheered, by the way, at that point. Well, to say these people are crazy is understated for sure. The whole MAGA populist movement has been punked. Do you know what it is to be punked? Have you heard that term?
Yeah.
You sensed it out. What does that mean? What does it mean when you get punked? Somebody
Basically like duped, like you've been tricked.
Yeah, okay. That's a good, exactly. We've been tricked.
Yeah.
And it's been a malicious thing. Usually when you think punked, sometimes people will say, well, I punked you. They pulled a trick on you, but there's a dark side when they say that, like usually, you deserved it or whatever, like there's a tongue-in-cheek cynicism about being punked, right? It's not playing a practical joke just by itself. That happens all the time, especially with guys, I suppose. But it can all be in good fun. When you're punked, that doesn't mean it's all in good fun.
Yeah.
So when I use that word punked at this point, technocracy is racing to clap us down into a draconian and dystopian scientific dictatorship. This has been the goal of technocracy forever, since it was originally coined in 1932 at Columbia University. And so this is not just a passing thing at this point. The technocrats who have taken over the Washington, D.C. establishment, all of them, every technocrat that you can name, including Elon Musk, David Sachs, Mark Andreessen is in the background, Peter Thiel is in the background, and there's several other technocrats in government right now. All of them together are marching to this tune of this dark MAGA movement. It has nothing to do with making America great again. It has everything to do with the dismantling of our government.
Yep.
The privatizing of all the government functions and uploading all of the data, our sensitive government data, into the cloud to be analyzed by AI. There's a concerted effort to convert our government to be a government by AI, for AI, and whatever. Not for the people, obviously.
Yeah, and
but
if someone's listening to this and they're like, "Oh, but Elon doesn't think that," then read the first couple paragraphs or first quarter of this article, and it dives into what Elon has said in the past, what his history is, what his family history is, and I mean, you can't deny it at that point.
You can't. And what layered on top of technocracy now is this new kind of a subtle change, if you will, of this concept of accelerationism and the dark enlightenment. Isn't that an oxymoron? Yeah, the dark enlightenment. How can be, if you're enlightened, you can't be dark. Yeah. It's like, this is really weird, okay? But this is what these people are smoking at this point. And so we need to define for people what are these new terms that we need to understand. Accelerationism, for instance, you see this, the concept anyway, everywhere in Silicon Valley for sure. But this is a political economic philosophy, accelerationism, that advocates for an intensification of technological progress and capitalist development to bring about radical social change. I'm reading this definition. It posits that by accelerating these processes, existing systems will be destabilized, leading to their eventual collapse or transformation. how does this have anything to do with making America great again? Can you figure that out? No, nobody can. I mean, you can't. This is a declaration of war against the American people and the American way of life.
Yeah.
It's an outright declaration of war. Well, it goes on for them for sure. You know, there's the theory has roots in postmodern technological singularity. We had that term expressed. We've talked about that before, and the future of the human society. So these people want to recast humanity in a new light using technology, nilly-willy, to drive it to its logical conclusion. And this is basically what people like Musk has said, people like Mark Andreessen has said. The government needs to get its hands off of any regulatory policy against technology, including AI. They want to deregulate everything that the government might otherwise touch. This has already been seen, for instance, by the big deregulation of AI by the government, and so here we go. Now, the next concept we need to talk about is the Dark Enlightenment movement. This is crazy, but this is what it is. It's also known as the Neo-Reactionary Movement, or NRX. We'll use that going forward. This is an anti-democratic, anti-egalitarian, and reactionary philosophical and political movement founded originally by Curtis Yarvin he had a pen name back then, and it was also developed further by a guy named Nick Land. It rejects the concept of historical progress towards a greater liberty and enlightenment, culminating in liberal democracy. Instead, here's the big thing. Instead, it advocates for a techno-authoritarian society governed by a king CEO, that's like a monarch, proposing a form of neo-feudalism where the corporations replace kingdoms and our highly intelligent or augmented individuals rule without democratic constraints. The movement is characterized by its critique of Enlightenment ideals from far-right positions, often associated with racist and white supremacist ideologies, and has been described as part of the alt-right's theoretical branch. Okay, unpack this.
Yeah.
This is striking at the heart of America.
Yeah.
If anything ever made America great, this is going to destroy everything that made America great. Isn't it interesting that this has been positioned to gain steam here under a conservative administration, especially with somebody like Trump at the helm, who obviously is complicit. He's not kicking back and he's not saying, "Oh, these people are screwing me in the back" or whatever, they're stabbing me back. These are his cronies at this point. It's just ironic that the polar opposite that the populists wanted in the first place this is what we have today.
Yeah, and
this is the reality of it.
And sorry to leave you on a cliffhanger, but we're going over here. But after hearing that, then wait to hear what Elon and his chief financial officer called themselves at Tesla. And I guess we'll have to get to that next week on Tuesday.
You bet.
All right, take care.